How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Forever Arsenal podcast, your weekly dose of the Forever Arsenal podcast. Now that the season's over, obviously, this is kind of the first one off the back of it all. The Champions League finals come and gone now. Real Madrid's 15th Champions League title before the format now changes. Something new to get our heads around, but congratulations, Real. And then Mbappe on top of it.
And why did they celebrate it like they won the Carabao Cup? I saw them at full time. They're like, "Well done, lads."
Well, most of them are just like, yeah, it's just another one, man. It's just another one.
Standard. Isn't it?
For a few of them, what is it? A few? It was the sick for Cruz.
4 of them.
A few players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sick for Modric.
Carvajal, Nacho.
Are they on 6 or 5? Maybe.
And they're
six.
standing still, not signing nothing major, are they? Like they're just sort of standing still.
Just the odd free transfer, eh?
That's what we're here for.
Scandalous, isn't it?
That's
Free
what we're here for.
transfers, they go, what's the world coming then? Madrid are doing free transfers now. It's a joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come right down in my
Lee,
estimation.
Watch how much we spend and tell us we don't have ambition.
I can't believe he chose Real over us. I don't know what's going on. I had high hopes, but
Signing on fee might have had something to do with that.
We did
No,
a video. We did a
yeah.
video. Should Arsenal break the bank for Mbappe? What a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but you lot were buzzing on that one.
85 million up front. That's essentially transfer fee. I mean, that's a bargain. That's a bargain.
Should we sign him? Should we get him? Should we do that deal?
You know who's the funniest of the lot, yeah? You know the fans that say, I wouldn't sign him, he's got a bad attitude, or I don't think he'll fit in the dressing room. Fuck off. Do you know when you got talent like this? I don't give a
What's going to
what
happen to
you are.
Martinelli's development? That's what I'm really worried about. You know?
Bruv, please.
Yeah, I was worried we were going to ruin Trossard's best years.
Yeah,
he scored loads of goals this season, Trossard. What are you going to do with him? Like, you know what I mean, play him left back. Come on, like, you know what I mean.
Well, what does it like? In all seriousness, though, what does it do to the Champions League? Obviously, we're not in La Liga, so it doesn't affect us like that. But in terms of the Champions League, I mean, the way I look at it is they've secured probably 3 of the next 5 at a bare minimum.
In the champ, go on, Lee.
So, I'll tell you what, Arteta's thinking, oh, God, I've got to win, like, you know, to stay in my job, I've got to win the Premier League or the Champions League.
It's
like,
not Champions
It's
League.
going out the window, isn't it?
I don't think Champions League can be an option right now. I don't think any single one of us can say next season we should be doing it. Real Madrid.
If he doesn't play a full team in the Carabao Cup, I'll be really pissed off with him. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In all seriousness, though, I don't see how it works. Because where's he's best off the left. They've got arguably the second best left winger in the world there already. So in terms of balance, I mean, people talk about great players can make it work, but no, you know, football's very much system based now, and I'm just a bit like, are they crowbarring him in through the middle? And I don't know.
It'll probably be.
I'm keen to see how it works.
It'll probably be him up top, but realistically floating. I mean, Real are known for. They're known for a lot, but I mean, in terms of the fast-paced counter-attacking, working the ball into space, that front three is all over the gaff at times. And I think Mbappe is just another. I say just another, but he's a fucking big piece of Arsenal to the front line. Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Mbappe running at you.
Can you guys correct me if I'm wrong? Because I'll admit this is a time. I mean, I might have been 10, 11 years old, so I don't remember it that well. But wasn't there a Galacticos era that like promised a lot but didn't deliver? As in, are you shaking as in that didn't exist? Or
No. I was thinking of earlier on, yeah, because they've done this before. And the whole Zidane, Figo, Beckham, Ronaldo era, it didn't bring the success it should have. Doesn't always work.
I just think my initial reaction when I saw the Mbappe news was just, yeah, he's gone to Real Madrid. We kind of all expected that as much as we hoped for some sort of Stan Kroenke miracle. But I just think, you know, they won the Champions League this year, and I know everyone. I don't know. I think we all fall into the magic of football, like another one. Their history and their prestige, and I actually do believe in all that. But I also believe if they play Man City 10 times like they did that game, they lose 9 of them. They just City didn't take their chance that one, and then we wouldn't be talking about another Real Madrid Champions League. I don't know. Football's funny, and
Dortmund had their chances, James.
Dortmund had their chances, and
they had their chances.
And it's not just luck, they have great defenders and a great goalkeeper. There's something about football where it's just never been the best collection of players, because Mbappe, Messi, Neymar never got anywhere near the Champions League. And
that's true.
It's one thing saying they, if they got to a semi and a final and they just lost to a better team, that'd be one thing. But they never got a sniff at it in I think it was 2 years they were together as a three.
I think we dodged the bullet then, boys. What do you reckon? I think we dodged the bullet.
Football's just never really worked like that. I agree with Turkish. I think they will still win. Like, if you asked me the next 7, I'd still put their name on 2 or 3 of them, which is incredible. But I don't know. Football's weird, and who knows? I mean, Ancelotti's still a great manager. I think the more scary thing about Real Madrid is the incredible plethora of young talent they have. It's not really just Mbappe. It's they've secured themselves for years to come, and that's what's so impressive. But
yeah, they have.
Football's weird, isn't it? Football's just weird. So
I will say this though, Jude Bellingham, I thought had a real poor game. I didn't see him involved in the game whatsoever. I just sort of passed him by. I really like him, and I was really hoping he'd have a really good game. But I was very, very disappointed with his performance. But that doesn't mean to say he's not going to be fantastic going forward. But I think that was just a reminder of his age at times there, in that game.
100%. But listen, let's leave Real and Mbappe dreams. It's over, people. But Jordan,
just before you come on the show, I want to just say, and it was picked up in the comments on the last show as well. You did James dirty in the thumbnail. You did do James dirty.
I didn't do that thumbnail. I didn't do that one.
That's Ryan does
it.
He did
no, Ryan did it.
So I need to give them a good screen grab for the next one.
Just got to promise him a few beers or something. He's easily bribed. You know what I mean? He's easily bribed.
Yeah, I don't know why they done you. Who was it that done it, actually? Was it Joe? It was Joe. It was Joe. It wasn't even Ryan.
Was it Joe?
It was
Joe.
Brian.
Was it Brian? I tell you, that's unbelievable. I tell you,
Everyone should know we're recording an evening one, so this is probably going to be a messy podcast.
We're struggling.
They're never as sophisticated as the 8 a.m.ers. Let's be honest.
That's fine. How can they be? But listen, Real out the way, and the last thumbnail out the way. Arteta, new contract. It seems all but confirmed, official 100%. All the top reporters have reported it. He has a year left, however you're looking at it. But it seems like he will be signed, sealed, and hopefully deliver next season. But the contract's there, James.
Yeah, they're saying. I think they're saying the talks are the talks happening. They're, I think, all expecting. I think I read that they expect it to be done. I don't know. There's nothing to worry about as far as reporters seem to be saying. And he'll be one of the highest paid managers in the Premier League.
What's that?
Is that right?
What's the report?
Let me find the exact report, people. Carry on.
Is it 9 million, is it?
I saw
signing on for
9
85 million. He's going to be well looked after.
Where would that rank him? Do we know in terms of after Pep? Would he be the second highest paid manager in the league?
Sammy Mockbell says Arsenal manager is heading into formal contract talks on course to become one of the best paid bosses in the Premier League.
Just that, yeah.
When you think about it, there's not that many big managers there, is it? Because you've got Pep, and then I think is Mikel the next longest serving? I think after that now.
After Pep.
Yeah, he might be. I think he is. Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah,
you're right.
I think he is. You know what I mean? So, it's a bit of a merry-go-round, isn't it?
I think it's justified. I mean, people will pull out trophies and what he's won and achieved and all that, but when you're talking in pure business terms, right? He's been there. Yeah, one of the longest-serving managers. He's competed at one of the highest levels in terms of the return you get in terms of wins and all that. And obviously, businesses think about, I don't know, the money they're making out of the job he's doing, whatever, and it's probably a fair deal. I mean, he probably should be one of the highest paid managers. I've seen no problem with that. I know he's young in his managerial career, but it's more about how long he's been there and the job he's doing, and he's competing at the highest level. No, is that not fair?
For me, just it is fair. For me, just get it done. Because I think
Yeah.
everything we do going forward now starts with the manager. You can't really attract players. You can't keep players. You want to get morale high. Just get it done ASAP. If he wants to stay, we want to give him a contract. Just lock it down and let's get on to the players. And do you know what I mean? Let's not drag this out for weeks and weeks and weeks. Do a nice Instagram photo with the pen and Edu over your shoulder. Let's keep it moving. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, let's just.
I'm fully behind it as well. Like, I think, you know, I get the thing about the trophies, but on league form and everything like that, it deserves his recognition, and it deserves to be given the opportunity. He needs to go on there and nail it. But with the big contract comes pressure, and I think that he knows that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's deserved over the last couple of seasons. I think Arsenal have been unbelievable in the last couple of seasons in the league. You know what I mean? We've gone toe to toe with Man City. I think we pushed them all the way this season. I don't think we could have done no more. Just lacked a little bit of inexperience, maybe his squad. That's what they've got to do this summer. But I'm backing Mikel, and I don't know if people see the Piers Morgan thing, like, you know what I mean, when he says he's convinced that he's gonna win the league. I believe that as well, because there was a couple of years ago I never thought that, but now what he's done in the last couple of seasons makes me believe that Arsenal can win the league again. I'm just hoping that they can next season.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's always a lot of debate when it comes to Mikel and Arsenal in particular anyway, but it just makes sense regardless of what you think. It just makes sense. I mean, it's not like we haven't seen managers get big contracts or long contracts and still, you know, underperform, not perform, and those contracts don't mean a thing. But at the same time, you know, like Lee said, I also believe, I said it before the season ended. I said it at the last game. I said we're winning the league next year. That's my opinion. And I don't think the contract really, in my opinion, matters much in terms of those expectations don't change. It just secures in terms of when the players are looking at the future of Arsenal. Currently, the crop we've got, they're in love with what Mikel's doing, because they're producing week in, week out for nearly 2 years now in total. Obviously, you know, give or take a few game weeks for sure. That's why we haven't won the league. But I mean, I don't see why there would be any debate about it. One thing I wouldn't want is going into the season and, you know, coming to January and everyone knows it's Pep's last 5 months and everyone knows Arteta hasn't signed a new contract. I don't want those sort of thing over our heads anymore, contracts and all that stuff. So let's get it done.
I mean, it's almost like a bit of like a player, in the sense that if he's not going to sign the contract before the season starts, fire him. I'd sack him. No, just in the way of a player. If you had a top player who's going to his last year of his contract, you'd sell him. So as much as you lot know I'm Team Arteta, I've backed him even when I probably shouldn't have backed him. But if we're looking at this in a real way, you just laid out scenario there, Turkish. We don't want to get to January and Pep's not signed his contract, and then it's like, oh, we need to plan. And we're not planning for the next 12, we're planning for the next 3 years. So for me, it's a case of just get it done early. Any dithering, any long thing, let's keep it moving and let's start looking elsewhere. But what I was going to ask you guys is this the last contract he should get without a major trophy?
Yeah.
In other words, this is the contract. You're like, well, okay, we're giving you a 3-year deal now. If the Prem's not here in 3 years, there won't be another contract.
Listen, I'm not thinking about 3 years. I'm thinking about next year. But definitely last contract if no other major comes. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think that I agree with that. I think that when you're signing a big contract, there's pressure with it. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you've got to at some stage, you know, you've earned that contract because of what he's done in the last couple of years. But now this one is, I think this is more important. I think there's got to be demands on it. If he's got to push us over the line. You know what I mean? I think that the club's going to back him. And if the club back him to the way he wants to be backed, and when we're all sitting here in August saying, yeah, that squad's strong enough, that's what we need, that's what we've got. Yeah, I think there's going to be pressure on that, and I do think that over the next year to 2 years, there's going to be more pressure on him. But I think he realises that as well. I think he knows that, and that's part of the game.
That's the key.
I
That's
think
the
he
key.
walks. If he hasn't delivered a major in the next 3 years, and we're talking about that next contract without basically trophies or a single trophy to show for it, I think he walks.
We
I
need
think
to
he'll.
stop saying 3 years. I'll be honest. It's kind of making
No,
me
no,
sick.
I know, but the contract terms, right? In terms of when that next contract discussion comes, I honestly think he'll have walked by then. I think Arteta said, and I'm not sure I quite believed him, but he said after not winning the league 22-23, when does this season become last season? Anyway, I always see it as June. Once we've hit June, it's last season for me.
Yeah.
So call it 2 seasons ago, 22-23 campaign. He said after not winning it, then he kind of had real thoughts about whether he was the guy to do it. And look, he got significantly closer, in my opinion. I know it was second to second, but he got significantly closer for me this campaign. This campaign just gone. And I just think that in his mind, we always talk about there being a fit for a manager. I think Arteta's going to win big trophies in his managerial career. I just really believe you. I think I even said that when we were languishing in 8th. Like, I just always felt that there was a big managerial future for him, whether it was with us or not. But no, just quickly finish. I honestly think if we don't win it next season, this upcoming season, or the season after that, I honestly think I think there's a good chance he walks before then. He just goes, it's just not happening, and he'll get another great job. And he'll get it over the line somewhere else. I don't know. I have the feeling that he thinks about it that way a little bit.
Well, I wanted to just kind of push your kind of confidence there, James, because Turkish as well has said that he thinks next year we will win the Premier League or the Champions League. Why? And I'm not trying to be provocative with that. I'm just kind of like, why do we believe that? Do we just believe that because it's been a good couple of years, we're getting better and better? Why is it not possible? And I'm playing devil's advocate here a little bit. Why is it not possible? He's not our Southgate. He's our Pochettino.
Do you know why? Like, even when you ask why do we think that, I'm gonna go back to like 97, 98. Yeah, Wenger won it first full season. I thought we'd win it 98, 99. We didn't. I thought we'd win it 99, 2000. We didn't. I thought we'd win it. We didn't. Even though it was coming up against, one of the greatest sides Premier League history, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, in my opinion, still, Sir Alex. It's just that when you get a taste of success, like we did earlier with Wenger, and then you're seeing the football, and then you're seeing the players, you just feel like you're like, as a pundit or as someone who's talking about football on a platform, you might say, yeah, we can do it. But I'm an Arsenal fan. I love the club, and I'm back at feeling like we will do it. Do you get it? That's not, if you ask me why I really think that, I can't, apart from our trajectory and the fact that some of our football over the last 12, 24 months deserves a major, but until you get over the line, people, I get that 100%. I just feel like I'm back in love, and we've competed for 2 years on the trot. We broke 100 million in the transfer window last summer. Like, this is an Arsenal that I've never, in terms of the transfer window stuff, never seen. In terms of quality, since Highbury, or since the Invincibles, since Highbury, this is by far the best football I'm seeing. And when I look around, it's only Man City that are playing better football in the Premier League. Because Champions League, like I said before, Real is long. Premier League is only Man City, and I just think, don't get me wrong, we might be sitting here 12 months and they've won their 5th one. They've not only done a 4P, they've done a 5P, and they've smashed it. And Pep leaves, and that's it. Yeah, and we're all questioning whether Mikel, but for me, it's, we will win it. If we don't, it'll be a shame.
Do you feel Turkish? Like, I'll let you answer this first before I do. Do you feel like you're at that stage now that you was in 98, 99, 2000? Do you think you're back there?
The only difference is Wenger won the league in his first season. So obviously I knew he can do it,
But I feel that I am. I feel that,
yeah,
because Manchester City are Man United now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
if you go back to those days, Man United had all the power. They was the biggest club, biggest buying the biggest transfers and everything like that, and it was us handing them down. And if you think about it, we probably I felt in '98 in that first season, you say we'd done it against the odds a little bit. Like, you know, I actually thought we was better equipped for it the following season, and we just failed. And a couple of seasons we didn't. And then we attacked him again in when we bought Sol Campbell and things like that. But I do think that we're on. You know, when Jordan says, "Why do you think that?" I feel that we're on level terms with them now. I feel that there's not much between either side now, and I know it sounds silly, but even last season, it was just fine margins tipped it their favour. And that's why I feel that we've got a great chance this season, next season. I just feel that we've got a little bit more experience going into it under our belts, and I think that we're still not quite there with certain players. They're not at their best. They're not peaked yet. They're not, and I just think that that's why I do.
So can I be honest? Because I'm not trying to shoot anybody down here, but what I'm hearing at the moment is hope, and hope is very important for a fan. We're football fans, right? If you've got no hope, don't turn up, right? I'm hearing hope. I'm hearing good vibes. And Lee just finished by saying that he thinks we're level with City. I don't think we are level with City, and this is why we're going to chat about it in a little bit. I want to talk about what are the incremental things we can make up to make the difference. I don't think we're level.
Do you know? No, I don't think we're level. But do you know? You're right. There's a lot of hope to it. But let's say both Sir Alex and Pep, who in my opinion are the two greatest, both of them have said, it's hard to continue maintaining success. Do you get it? Like when
you said
you
that
win,
2 years ago, Turkish.
He did. But that's what I'm saying. Like he said it 2 years ago. But bro, surely it fucking runs out sometime, bro. Surely, what the hell?
But I think there are tangible things we can hold on to. Like I mean, you never know, right? For what it's worth, I'll make my thing about predictions as things change. I'll make my full prediction when the transfer window's over. I don't care how those first 3-4 games go. When I've seen the squads, I'll make a decision on who I think is going to win the league at the end of the season. But at the moment, I'd go with Pep and City because of Pep Guardiola more than anything. But there is something to be said for, Saliba and Gabriel should, in theory, be a year better. And they were a year better than last season, the season before. They challenged for the title. I think they were better. Declan Rice, when we signed for 100 million, I think we'd have been happy with the West Ham version we got. And West Ham fans might say we're wrong. I think we got an even better version of Declan Rice. Because Saka, I was very much one of the people saying he wasn't as good, but his numbers were certainly better. Now, not everyone. Martinelli went backwards and whatever. But generally, my feeling is like, you marry that with the fact that, Stones has had injury problems. Diaz didn't start the final. Kyle Walker is getting caught out more than normal. De Bruyne, does he go an injury-free season after what he had this campaign? Grealish, had injury problems throughout. Bernardo Silva, does he still want to be there? Is he still going to be there? No, I don't know. Knowing City, they'll come out with a better squad than they went into the summer. They'll come out with a better squad than they had going into the summer. But something tells me that, apart from Rodri, who I feel like is still young enough, he's only going to get better and better. And of course, they've still got some incredible young players like Foden and Doku. I just feel like, if we get things right in the transfer market, it's really about Pep versus Arteta. And like, Arteta's a young manager getting it right. I don't know. Do you know what? And now I'm contradicting myself because actually I was saying that the difference was the world-class players who can make a difference. I don't know. Let's see where we are at the end of the window. But something just tells me that we're not far away from those fine margins tipping in our favor.
And the other thing is there, John, when you say about hope, and I get what you're saying, but I've gone into league campaigns 5, 6, 7 years ago, knowing that we're never going to even challenge for the league, let alone win it. All of a sudden now, I'm going into next season believing that we can go and win it, and that's got to be a great thing, surely.
No, it totally is. Club, but the hope is really important, and I'm with you. There were seasons. There was a good decade where I knew we would win the league before a ball was kicked. We all knew that. So and we believe now we can win the title. But what I'm trying to get to is, let's kind of unpick the actual tangible reasons why we think will be Premier League champions. Hope is everyone can have hope.
What would
United
be
can have
one
hope.
for you? Like an example. What would be an example of one? Because I'm struggling to think of like a definitive.
James gave one. They've got a better manager than us. James, another one is we're up against a team that have just won 4 titles in a row. Now that could go one of 2 ways. That could go to the way that you've outlined, in that they've just hit the mounting and you can't keep going, or it can be a team that know how to get it done.
Do you
And
think
until you get that first one,
do you think it's fair to say we're a hungrier side now, or does that
yes,
sound like it?
yes, and that could be a leveler. That could be a leveler.
And also, what I think is a very, very important thing is that was, people forget this, that was Mikel's first season, Premier League going for the title and Champions League. You know what I mean? So I feel that he got a little bit of experience from that.
Yeah.
And I think the mistake was made in that Aston Villa game, in between those 2 Bayern Munich games. I don't think he'll make that mistake again. So I think that we'll learn from that. The downside of that is I think there's 4 more games now in the Champions League, so I don't know how that's going to impact us going forward. But yeah, I think that's fundamentally a good thing there. I do think that you're right what you're saying. They've got a better manager. I think we've got a better defence. So we need the midfield maybe just slightly there as over ours at the moment, so we can improve on that. And I think the front line, I think that they nick that as well at this moment in time. That's where it's going to be important this summer that we say now that whoever they get has got to come in and because I think at the end of the day their 3 is very, very good, same as our 3. But I think that their backups are a lot better than ours, and that's something we've got to look at.
So you asked a good question, Jordan, about what we changed. Shall we explore that now? Because I've got a few thoughts that are bubbling around in my head. I think there were 2 kind of main areas that I think there's like 2 main things I think are very different about Arsenal and City. There's lots, but kind of 2 when you're talking about like the fine margins and the getting the titles over. One of them we've talked about, and that's players win football matches. Like you're talking to the guy who runs Tactical Insight and puts Lee to sleep every night. Like, ultimately when it comes down to it, what Foden did in the first minute, 15 seconds or whatever it is against West Ham on that final day, yes, it is tactics to a degree because, Pep's coached him and has nurtured him and has got him into that particular area. But guys, it's talent to rip a ball like that into the top far corner, unstoppable for the keeper. That's talent. And I don't know where our talent of that type exists in our team. I think Saka can do it. I think Martin Odegaard can do it. But there's an inevitability about their players that Foden will score about 5 goals a season like that. Gvardiol started popping up with some. De Bruyne, when they were 1-0 down at Palace, decided to rip one into the top far corner. There's something about them that goes, cool, Pep Guardiola will get us to this point, but then maybe, have I still got you guys? I'm losing Lee.
Yeah, I can hear you.
At least all over the place. But there's also like Pep Guardiola can take us like to 95, 96%, but maybe there's that 4% that gets us 3 goals at the Bernabeu from distance. I think that is one thing we don't have in our team. We've talked about it. We can talk about how we had it. The second thing was Pep Guardiola and Man City still have, and I think we improved on this season, but still have this unpredictability going into games where you don't really know who's going to start. Like, he might drop Haaland. He probably won't, but he might. And that's not that surprising if he does. He might drop De Bruyne. He might drop Foden. He might drop Diaz and Stones and play Ake and Akanji at centre-back because, I don't know, he needs more presence at the back. I don't know. But he still has the ability to do that. And I think that makes teams difficult to prepare against City. I think they're like, well, we know what they do, but we don't necessarily know who's going to be on the pitch to do it. And I think Arsenal, if there's one thing they can do this summer, it's come out with a much more dependable squad. Like, if we sign 3 players who are as good as the 3 players in their positions they could play in, not necessarily just upgrades, then I think we're immediately a better team.
I think the point you make there, James, about City's lineup being unpredictable is interesting because it flies in the face of every other team that's won the title, i.e., for how many years we've been told to win a Premier League, you need to know your 13 players. You need look at Leicester, look at Arsenal, look at United, look at Chelsea. They've all had 13 players that have what obviously 14, 15's coming down it, but you kind of can name the 12 or 13 players that are going to start. Whereas
right.
Pep's done the exact opposite. He's done the exact opposite and proven that works as well. So I'm not even sure anymore if it's important to have a settled 11 or if actually keeping opposition on their toes with your lineup is actually more important. I don't even know anymore, but I think it's what you're saying is right. But I'm just making the point that that's not what traditionally has worked before. Do you know what I mean? So,
that's a good point.
What about tactically? Do you think Mikel changes up, or do you think, because for me, I think, listen, it's harsh to say because the reality is we're a better team for it. But the first half of the season is essentially what cost us at the end, and that first half was used to essentially tinker it to become what it become this calendar year, which was, we saw it, 1 draw, 1 loss, and that was it. We just failed in, to a juggernaut. But for me, I think the tinkering is done. I think we're going in and we know what we are, we know who we are, we know what we're doing. But Jordan, I'll start with you on this. Do you think that's the right thing to do considering how good we've been? Or do you think Pep will be one step ahead of that and we need to be on our toes and bring in something a bit different again?
Well, I want to slightly challenge, first of all, your point about you think the title was lost in the first half of the season when we kind of get into our groove. Because I don't totally agree. I know we lost 3 games before Christmas: Newcastle, Villa,
and
Fulham and West Ham.
Fulham, yeah.
Was that before Christmas? Or was that after?
No, it was just after Christmas, wasn't it? Them two.
Yeah,
or maybe
first 19 games though.
Maybe
Villa and Fulham before Christmas, yeah. Sorry. Villa and Newcastle before Christmas. Fulham and West Ham straight after.
So we lost those 2 games, yes, but I'm not. I actually want to give him credit for what he did because I think that, and this is where I want to big him up. He learned from the previous season where the football we were watching was scintillating. We were starting games out the gate. We were battering teams in the first 15, 20 minutes, and then we were nice. Back end of the season, all right, Partey and Saliba being out, obviously that significantly hurt us. But we just burnt out. We just burnt out as well. Whereas the season just gone, he must have realised, I'm just guessing here, but he realised we can't do that. It's a long-ass season, and we've got Champions League football this year. So the start of last season, I actually thought, while it wasn't great to watch, I thought gave us the backbone and the backboard, if you like, to propel into the second half of the season. Now, look, the Villa game, you could argue, killed us. Cool. That we can discuss that or not. But I think generally his tactics over the season, I think we're actually pretty spot on. I wouldn't attribute us coming second, albeit just by a couple of points, because of his tactics in the first half of the season. But what I would do going forward, I think he's got to evolve again. I think he's got to find a way now to free up certain key players. I think he's got to get Saka isolated a lot more. I think he's got to find a way. I think the striker he signs, if he does sign one, I think will be pivotal to how the overall attack plays. I like the idea that we floated on this podcast here about Odegaard moving to the 8 and signing a 10. I think there are, doing double invert with Ben White on the right and Timber on the left. Whatever he does, I think he's got to move it on because we've seen this Premier League. If he stands still, teams will suss you out very, very quickly. So my answer to your question would be yes. I think he's got to find a way to evolve and move forward again, if only to keep opposition teams on their toes.
Also, what will be very important is pre-season, how Jesus comes back. I think that'll be another one. Does he play him up front or does he play him as a wide player now? How does he actually see how Jesus is going to play in this team?
He needs to not see Jesus, in my opinion, and just be happily surprised.
Start.
We cannot go into this season relying on a Jesus, on a Partey, on a Zinchenko, on these players, because now push has come to shove. We have to win it. Like Jordan, I slightly disagree because I do think that I agree with the need to do what we done first half of the season to become what we were. But I do think in hindsight now we look at it and losing to Aston Villa, Newcastle, West Ham, and Fulham in your first 20 games and a draw to Tottenham at home. I think Andrew actually got the better of him at the Emirates this season. I think you look at that and you think, and we were
Yeah,
two
that's fair.
points off
That's
at the
fair.
end. So,
That's fair.
but I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
because of what we've seen off the back of it, 2024, I think we've got to see that throughout the calendar year, throughout the season next season.
We've
We've
got
got
to
to
go. We've
try.
got to go unbeaten at home, church. That's what we've got to do.
Man
That is
City,
what we've got to do. We've got to be a little bit more tactically acute at home, more ruthless, take our chances a lot more. And if we go unbeaten at home, the chances are, with the way that we're playing away from home, we'll have enough points in to win it.
When I look at how Liverpool beat City to it, they almost were just so relentless that City will never say they gave up, and they still got 80-something points. But, it was just like we're too far from them, and you lose enough games, and Arsenal, so Liverpool pull away. Now, people forget that January of the 22-23 season, when we beat Tottenham to go, to extend our lead, we extended it to 8 points. We burnt out, but had we not had that weird period at the end of January where we drew with Brentford, we lost to City, but we had some of the weird results, didn't we? Do you remember? We lost to Everton, then we drew to Brentford. Had we not had that period, had we been better going to the game at the Etihad against West Ham, Liverpool held those leads, would momentum have seen us through? Would a more mature side? Liverpool, how do I put it? Let's take Liverpool. This season's Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp. I think if they had an 8-point lead at any point of the season, they'd have held on to it or something near it just because of momentum. So I don't know if I think we need to just come flying out, 9 wins out of 10, just blow them away, hope that they drop points in a few games and make them sort of feel like they're catching up from the off, make them feel like they're only 2 months into the season. They're already a way off it. I don't know, or whether, you've got to stick at it and feel like you're constantly on them and keeping them honest and hope for something. I have no idea. But then, has any one football season ever really been the same? I don't know. Is there one way to do it? I mean, Jose Mourinho used to, from what I remember of his 15-16 Chelsea side, I think that was the year, or 14-15. I can't remember. Maybe it was 14-15. I think they did make a really good start. But I remember at the end of the season, they were just getting the 1-0s and just getting it over the line and keeping clean sheets and just seeing it out. Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool were just relentless. They went on and won it basically by April, and then were drunk in the last 6 games. I think they won it the earliest of any team ever. So I just don't know what the one way is. But ultimately, it's more consistency throughout the whole campaign. You cannot lose 3-4 games 4 games by New Year. By January 1st, we lost 4 Premier League games. That has to change. And people forget, sorry, before we come in, Jordan, people forget that I keep saying this. Our calendar year, yes, was amazing. But why do we talk about the calendar year? Because it just feels nice to 2024. You extended by 1 more month. You get to where City lost their last game against Villa, and we lost 4 games after that. They went unbeaten after losing to City, after losing at Villa Park, and we lost 4 games. So actually, when you look at it that way, it's very obvious why we didn't win the league, because you can't lose 4 more games than them in the last 6 months. So there's a million ways you can look at it.
And when you really think about it, I think we've forgotten we lost 5 games this season, and I think I made this point a couple of pods ago, but even back in the day before Pep and Klopp redefined winning a title, 5 points when we won titles. That's a lot of games.
5 defeats is a lot, yeah.
That's a lot of defeats back then. So now you can't lose 5 games now unless you won the title already, as James has said, and then you could be on the piss for 3 games and lose whatever you want. Do you know what I mean? But 5 defeats, no. You can't lose 5 games.
That's why we've got to start the season how we ended this one. That's why I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't really care for the tinkering too much. Just what I think we lack in comparison to City is a bit of coldness.
They're a machine.
I think you got a couple. You look at a few of their players, and their players are cold. In the big moments, they can be cold, and when they need to be, they can be cold. I think whether we add that or whether we become that because of the last 2 years, we need to see a bit of that. But listen, I think if we have a solid start to the season, we go on to win it. For me, the first 19 games are my biggest worry. because I want us to just go out there and get the job done. Because I think City 5th title in a row. Nah, man. Let's try and knock them early like Liverpool did. That's all. That's the only time I've witnessed them lose it. But Liverpool just ran away with it, and Liverpool didn't tweak anything from the end of the season before to the start of that season. They just rock and rolled it straight through into the next season and banged it out.
But you guys might laugh, yeah, and I don't know how Liverpool did when they won their title. I don't know how they did in all this, but like, I also don't want to see like an early Carabao Cup exit. And I know that ultimately, what does it mean for the Premier League because it's more games, whatever. But I just think I want to see momentum in Arsenal next season.
Yeah.
You know, everyone having a part to play, like every squad player having football to look forward to, like a reason to stay fit and motivated. I want us to go far in cups because we might win them. I want trips to Wembley to look forward to. I really think like all these things like just build like momentum, and people will absolutely like, okay, rip me if you want, right? The Community Shield is what it is, but you think at Wembley going up against a City team that I believe tried, I believe wanted to win it that day, and they couldn't. You think that didn't help us in the head-to-heads? Of course it helped us in the head-to-heads. We deployed a game plan that worked. We had a system with Rice at the 8 that worked. Like, the Arsenal players came off that pitch going, okay, it was the Community Shield, but today we did it and they didn't. Whatever it is we did it and they didn't. And I just want to see Arsenal, not just because I want silverware. I want silverware. I probably rate the Carabao Cup more than most people here. But I just like, I want to see Arsenal not just getting themselves in a situation where it's like, it's the Premier League or nothing again. Like, there's 4 competitions. Let's be competitive. Let's breed a winning mentality a bit, you know?
I agree with you, but I'm fascinated.
Says the man who celebrated a draw. Sorry, Carol.
Yeah, you had your viral moment there, big time there, but you know it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. I'm fascinated to see how
Big up Kaka.
not just us, but all the 1-1. I'm fascinated to see how all the Champions Leagues, in fact, all the teams in Europe deal with the Carabao Cup because there's more games in Europe.
There ain't no Carabao Cup in Europe, man. It's only us that do this. So that's why I said scrap it, man. The hell?
But the point I hear you. But the point I'm making is that with more games in the Champions League, the Europa League conference, I think, has been extended. So teams are gonna have to prioritize whether we like it or not. And I'm with you, James. I think he's got to lift something this year. But teams are going to prioritize, and for teams like Arsenal and the top 4 teams in the Champions League, the Carabao Cup might just be the thing that he just like not chucks it, but. You said no, huh?
Open top bus parade in February.
Listen, they will wait. I just there ain't much difference between a trophyless season and a Carabao Cup season. If I'm honest.
Nah, that's harsh.
At the end of it, squad, it'd be good for the squad, doesn't it? The squad rotation is good if you've got that, like, you know, players coming in, trying to prove themselves, getting games under their belt. And what the thing about it, if I'm there, I'm saying to whoever that squad player is, use that to get yourself into the Premier League side. That's what you got to do. And I do think, you know, I thought, if I'll be really honest, when someone was talking about the other day, we was poor against West Ham. It was a poor performance. Got well and truly beaten that day. Yeah. But us fans come out, they're going, oh, it's only the Carabao Cup. We've got to change a little bit from that as well. Yeah, it's no good like, I walked out of that game, it don't really matter, like, you know what I mean? And you know, but we've got to be, as fans, be a little bit more demanding as well and say, no, we want to do well in that, or don't bother going to it. You know what I mean? Like,
is that an option?
It is an option. It is an option. You've got a choice, haven't you? Like, you know, I decided to go.
You can stick it.
Don't get me wrong, guys. If we've got Real Madrid on the Tuesday, Man United away on the Wednesday, I don't know. Why can't I think of Brighton at home in the Carabao Cup on the Wednesday, and then Tottenham away? Rotate, please. Like, please rotate. And you know that is obviously the competition that you don't stress about the most. I'm just saying that I want to see us. I want to see us lift silverware. I do. I want the Wembley days. I want the cup. Yeah.
Even if you change Real Madrid, United, and Tottenham in that sentence to Sevilla, Newcastle, and Fulham, you still prioritize those competitions ahead of Brighton. So it doesn't matter using Real.
Last year.
Say that again.
We lost to 2 of those last year. I'm going full strength.
Bro, I'm telling you, it just happens to be, and with the
Yeah, but
Champions League now 8 games, it's
a lot.
worse.
you look at that, guys, and you've already said that earlier on today. Oh, we've lost 4 games before Christmas, or before the New Year. Well, there's another one in that, isn't there? The Carabao Cup, we lost that as well. So there's another one. The momentum's a big thing in this, you know what I mean? Keep losing games all the time, you know what I mean?
And Lons.
You get on a run and then you lose a game. You get another game, you lose a game. I do think that, and there's a little bit of an exception. It's accepted a little bit. Oh, well, you know what I mean? Even the Lons game, we still qualify. We still do this, we still do that. But
we
maybe
have no right
for the
to
bigger
throw
picture.
cups away.
I agree.
I'm with you. We have no right to throw cups away.
Yeah.
We are a big team that hasn't won anything significant in a long time. Obviously, there's a level of prioritizing that goes on, but I want the League Cup. I want a trophy. I want a trophy.
Yeah, but you said significant. No, League Cup is not significant.
I think it's significant as far as this manager needs to win another trophy. Okay, now we could obviously it's the ranked least of all the trophies. We agree there, but I think this manager needs to bring some form of success. We've not had success under Arteta. I mean, bar the FA Cup where he came in halfway through. We've not had success. We've had progress. There's been achievements. There's been no success. And we can't call. I just refuse to believe that we can call ourselves a big club. We're not lifting trophies. Now, you're not defined by League Cups. Of course, you're not. But it's success of some form. And I just think, as Lee said, this team is getting used to winning things.
Liverpool go deep in everything. They do. You know what I mean?
They didn't for a while, though. For a while.
They didn't for a while. No, they didn't. You're dead right. They didn't for a while. But then, but I think we're at that stage now, James. We're at that stage now where the squad's got to. This summer, the squad has got to be strong enough to compete in every competition. Not for us as fans and as a club to say, do you know what? After 5 transfer windows, we can still front. We're going to throw away the Carabao Cup because we haven't got a strong enough squad. And every supporter go, yeah, I agree with it. No. You've got the opportunity now. You've had 2 years of Champions League football.
Turkish, really.
You've got the summer to sort this out now and really go for it. And I'm not gonna. If I'm gonna go, if we're away to, I don't know, we could be away at Middlesbrough in the League Cup. I will choose to go, and I expect us to go there and get a result and not get beaten. And certainly not the way we was turned over against West Ham this season. I know when I look back at it, people turn around and go, "Oh, we didn't have Party playing. We didn't have so and so playing at that time because they was injured and all that." But no, there shouldn't be any excuses about players being injured no more, because this is the time to sort it out. This is the time when you get the squad sorted out properly. There's been a couple of passengers have been there, and listen, can you accept it when a team like Brighton or even West Ham make changes and they still beat us? No, it's not. We've got to be a little bit more. Be a little bit more demanding of this football team now. I think, especially in this summer. If Arsenal are going to spend 200 million, I expect a squad competing on all fronts, and not saying we can let that one go or we let this one go. No, it's now. This is it now. This is our time. It's Arsenal's time now. When you think about it, players, I don't care what anybody's saying. Do you think those England players like Declan Rice are sitting there going, it's only the FA Cup? I reckon they want that as well. If they don't, they should bloody well want to be winning trophies. And any trophy, always try and win trophies, And the league's a priority. Don't get me wrong. We still got to have the priority of that. As James says, if we've got Tottenham at the weekend, that's your priority. But the squad players coming in on that Wednesday should be good enough to beat most of those teams in the Premier League. Not like we did under Arsene Wenger, he's playing all the kids and all that now. I think that's changed because Man City and Mourinho was a big thing on it. Don't forget, winning mentality gets you going over the line on other things. And that's what we know. Experience, get it up there. I'm not. This squad's got to be built to go on all fronts next season.
So to sum up the podcast, we can't think of a way to beat Pep Guardiola. So go full strength of the Carabao Cup, please.
I think the key is the squad. I think you nailed it before, James, and Lee's just kind of repeated it there. The squad's the key. We've got to have a squad that is, we're confident can go on all four fronts. There's no, and that's the reason why, if someone like Aaron Ramsdale, I think he will be sold. I think the general consensus is that he probably should be sold. But I'm a little bit like, I wonder if there's any kind of reconciliation that could be made between Arteta and some kind of arrangement whereby he is promised a certain amount, even if it's the cups. Like because I look at City and their first choice two goalkeepers. I mean, there's talk that bloody Ortega's better than Edison now. Like, and he's their number two.
Not in midfield,
And it's reinforced to me how important having a good backup is. So I think Ramsdale will go. But I'm just wondering if there's a way of kind of getting him back on side and saying, look, we want you here. You will play 30 games this season. Maybe not 30, but 20 games at least this season. And I won't F you over like I did last year. He's someone that I would try to keep. And we know Cedric's going. I'd sell Zinchenko. This really hurts to say. This really, really upsets me because he's probably my favourite player. But I think Partey's got to go. I think we've got to try and move him on. I think he's a brilliant player. I love Thomas Partey, honestly. At his best, I think one of the best in the league. I really rate him. But I think we're at a point now whereby we need to move on from these maybe players. We need to move on from these players that have shown us for 2-3 years they can't play a full season. Smith Rowe's got to go. I would try and get some money back in for Vieira. We know that El Nene is moving on.
Eddie linked with a £30 million move to Fulham.
I think we should try and move on Eddie as well. Nelson, I think, will go to. I wouldn't put him on the market. Somebody came in with 40 mil for Jesus. I'm picking the phone up.
50.
45. We're negotiating on 45. And then the last player that I would say
45 plus add-ons.
He wins the Champions League in 2 years. He gets a 5-year bonus. Martinelli. I wouldn't sell Martinelli, but I'm definitely looking for an upgrade there. I am. I think we've got to be.
I'm looking for another winger.
I'm looking for two wingers, one on the left and on the right, but I'm looking for a first choice left winger this summer. And I think if we can get the squad ready and start the season with a squad that we're like, yo, this team can compete week in, week out. Champions League on the Wednesday, Prem on the Saturday for 9 months. I think that could be the difference this year, with a few match winners in there as well. That could be the difference. I think that takes us from second to first.
Going back to what you're saying about Eddie, that's a great move for him, Fulham. That'd be a great move for him. Like, you know what I mean? I'm hoping that does happen. Not for his sake as well, because I do think that there is he's a Premier League player, but not quite at the level that we want to go to. So,
can I ask some quick fire questions? Do you guys think there's anything in this Sesko stuff? A lot of reporters saying it, but something just feels a bit agent.
I thought it was a smokescreen for Mbappe, but here we are.
Didn't we all?
I think there is, because has he got a sellout clause? Has he got a buyout clause or something?
He's got a.
So there's got to be something in it there.
He's got a release clause. Oh,
he's got a release clause, like so.
It's not that
45,
much.
55 million, something. It's around that. And also apparently wants his future sorted for the Euros. You know when something just feels a bit too like, all right, we get it.
I know what you mean.
We get it. Like we're linked. We get it. It just feels a bit like
forced. A bit forced.
It feels a bit. It feels a bit like Arsenal top priority. Sesko, he's top priority. And then 3 other reporters. Arsenal's top priority is Sesko. It's like, I don't know. Feels a bit.
Would you guys take him?
Yeah, now I've heard the release clause. I think it's a no-brainer in terms of the potential he has. But I think with the release clause being such a nice figure, I'd still expect to bolster our attack with another solid signing if it is to be Sesko. Really, I want Isak, and I want, if it takes 120, do it. But let's say it's going to be a Sesko for 50 mil, yeah. I'd still be looking at another 70 added to the wings or the front three.
I think that'll happen.
Yeah.
Well, no, some reporters are saying that it's a striker and a winger we want, but others are saying just a forward, which is quite vague. I mean, here's my gut feeling on it. I think if Arsenal can find the genuine out and out number 9 upgrade they want, if they believe that's Osman, if they believe that's Jokeres, if they think they can get Isak, then I actually think they would do that deal. But I think they probably can't do that. I think they probably don't want to spend 100 million Osman. I think they probably know they can't get Isak. And Sesko represents this, 55 million. I think we're still our brains are still wired to see that as like a really hefty sum, and it is. But the football market these days, like 55 million, we look at what players have gone for at 60, 70, 80 million. Sesko, when you look at his raw potential, and also the fact that he probably wouldn't expect to play every game. Havertz, if he's in the form he's in, starts up front. But if Sesko's good enough, he plays. They'll probably see that as like the better balance for the squad. But it feels a little bit too nicey nice for me. I'd like to see Arsenal go out there and be really ruthless and go, that's the striker we want. But PSR, I think, is a big thing. I know in January,
I was going to say
everything.
that.
Yeah, I don't think everyone's going to spend crazy money.
No.
I actually think we're going to see fees go down. I think we'll see, which is why I was so surprised by the 30 million Nketiah links. Not unless I don't think that's going to happen, but I don't know. I just don't think anyone's going to pay crazy money. I think Smith Rowe would do well to get 20, 25 for him, maybe. I don't know.
That's because there's no players left out there.
Yeah.
Really and truly, how many players can you say is out there worth 100 M's? Like a handful?
I think everyone's scarred. Like, I think everyone looked at that Anthony deal and I went, oh my God.
Or Caicedo or Enzo or Sancho or there's so many.
85 million doesn't guarantee you a 10 million pound player anymore.
No.
Be deadly serious. If Man United paid 10 million for Anthony, would they be happy with what they got out of that?
No, back up.
Probably not.
No, but I'm not even trying to be like Enzo, 100 million. If they spent 40 million, I think they'd be a bit like, ooh. I think with Enzo, you've seen real talent and the what he did with Argentina and everything. But like, these big fees, I'm being facetious, guys. But the point I'm saying is like, these big fees are so far from what these players are actually worth that I just think clubs, especially with the financial pressures, are just going to be quite scared to do the big deals. And we'll go, I'd rather take the risk on this guy who, if we nurture him right, will be great in 2 years than the guy who we hope is going to be great now, but isn't.
I think it feels, though, I'm kind of with you and Turkish. It feels like, going back to the Sesko thing, if we're going to buy a forward, go and buy a forward, go and buy a finisher. I don't think we need another project. I don't think we need another raw talent that in 2 years' time could be Ballon d'Or. I think we need. I'm not going to do the whole thing that a lot of Arsenal fans do. We're linked with a guy no one's heard of 2 weeks ago, and everyone's like, no, I definitely want him, or no, I definitely don't want him, based off of a few YouTube clips. The guy looks good, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know the guy. So if you're going to go and get a striker, go and get a finisher. Go and get, if Isak's the guy that you think you can get, go and don't play games anymore. Let's now get the certified players in certified positions that can get us over the line now. So if Sesko comes in, cool. But I personally would, if you're looking at a forward, go and get a forward. I like Chiesa. I always like Chiesa.
Can I give you it's not a rogue shout. It's been talked about on Twitter, but I'm glad it's starting to gain traction. Kudus at West Ham. I know he's not a striker, but he plays across the front three. I honestly believe this guy. By the way, West Ham would be a nightmare to deal with, and rightly so. They only had him a year, and he's brilliant. But I honestly think Kudus is. I think he can have the Salah, Mane, Diaz, Jota explosion that they had under Klopp. I really believe that. I think he's a very good player, waiting to just become world class like that.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Let's say 120 on Isak or 50 on Sesko and 70 on Kudus. Which one are you taking?
Sesko and Kudus.
It sounds good, isn't it? So that's if Sesko does come in and then we spend another 50, 70 on that wing and it's a player like that, then I'm all for it. But Sesko's got a lot of potential, and then you bring in a player like Kudus who's got goals from the wing, who can who can play 10, who can even
I'm
play.
taking this. I'm taking this side.
I was gonna say, have I
Turkish.
contradicted myself?
Yeah, I'm
Because
taking
I
this
just
side.
said like I want that one. Do you know what? This is why it must be so difficult being Arteta. Because I've changed my mind. I've contradicted myself 5 times this podcast. People in the comments go,
6.
I know that. Like I've said that it's about the squad. So Sesko and Kudu solve that. But now I'm also thinking, yeah, but if you get that player that improves the first 11, well, that's Isak. So I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult.
The reason why I get
That's
Sesko, Isak is because I think we need to put players into our first team, not buff up the squad. So I think if you put Isak into the 11, that relegates Jesus to the bench. If Jesus is your second choice striker, you're doing pretty well. If we can go and get Chiesa, or if we can get another really bad boy on the left wing, if Martinelli is the guy that's competing for that, and he's your second choice winger, you're doing pretty well. Same in midfield, etc., etc. So for me, I don't think it's about getting squad players in. I think it's about now getting difference makers, 2 or 3 difference makers that you put into your 11. And on game 1 of the season, when we're away to Ipswich Town on the first game of the season, we're like, yo, we have not 8 or 9. We've got an 11 that we think this is our team. And then we've got Partey, and then we've got Jesus, and then we've got Havertz, and then we've got Tomiyasu on the bench. Do you know what I mean? I think we need 3 difference makers to put into that 11.
I think Kudus gets there. That's the one thing I say. I don't know why. Don't ask me this obsession with it. I'm gutted we missed out on him last summer.
I know. What was it? 35 mil.
Well, reports came out saying that we couldn't do it. Apparently, like we just couldn't make it work financially.
And he wanted to come. Is that correct?
He was waiting. Apparently, reports. But
I thought it was Chelsea he wanted to go to, and they messed around.
Apparently, he was waiting for us. That honestly, I'll try find it and I'll send the link. But yeah, I did see that.
I did read that.
It'd have been unreal.
I think this is definitely something we're going to talk about further moving forward anyway, the transfer stuff. But we have passed an hour, people. So hit the like button. Hopefully we've touched 1,000 as usual, because it is as usual, love as usual, people. Hopefully you've enjoyed this show. We've got comments of the day still lined up if everyone's ready.
I'm frantically finding them now, but I did find a couple. So let's see what we all got.
I have to confess that I've been looking as well. Like,
about 55 minutes, you see us all doing this. Keep talking, Jordan.
Have you actually got yours, Jordan, or nah? Did you?
I got a couple. Yeah.
What, last minute, or did you have them?
No. I did my homework, bro.
Oh, okay. Say no more. Go ahead then.
I've got here from Patricia, who's got Turkish did James dirty with the thumbnail. Yeah, I've got Mike James here. He's quoted me singing the KG and Expression song. Yeah. But there was another one that I didn't write down, but and that was it.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't got my glasses, so I can't read who it's from. Callum, I think it's from like Lee's the greatest. Lee's the best out of the 4 members of the pod. It is a pleasure meeting him. Sorry, just practicing for Lee's next comment, so very good.
I didn't even listen to it because I was trying to find another one. So
James is still frantically searching. James, don't worry, man. Don't worry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. You might have said it because I wasn't listening. Sam Sega says, "Nothing better feeling. The judge never disappoints." He's quoting you. He did come out with some great ones.
Something about like a hard spot and all. I don't know what all that was about.
You said that. You said. I've got a few others, but I also just want to address your camera. What kind of...
Bro, I thought, has he got an editor there? Is it moving around?
When I move, it moves with me. It's brand new light. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You spent the whole podcast like this.
Yeah, so if I move, it moves with me, like, you know what I mean?
But what is it? A brand new thing
is, right?
Yeah, it's brand new.
Are you on a yacht? Are you on a cruise?
No.
It's
just like, so if I move, the camera moves with it, like, you know. So if I move, the camera moves, like, it follows me, like, you know.
That's really annoying.
Run off quickly. Just run.
Yeah. Can you just run off into the distance?
No.
Go sit on the bog. Go sit on the bog again. See if it follows
No.
you.
With due respect, it's like 3:30. It's 3:00, 3:15 in the morning here. Like, you know what I mean?
Cool.
Does it follow you around on your holiday and just take pictures of you?
Yeah, it's what it's there for.
Oh,
Like,
Did Julian give you that camera?
No. All jokes aside, I don't know if you can see this, right, but they've made a mistake in our room.
Lee, just leave that on your desk. No,
They
just
put a
don't
spare
do it.
bed there, like, and Michelle turned around and said, "Oh, Julian ain't coming."
You've landed. Oh my god.
Last
that
one.
better be gone in the morning, otherwise I'm complaining, like, you know.
Ben Jace 97S. Jordan being in a meeting at the end. This guy is something else. That was brilliant. You just sat there just on a meeting.
I was listening. I was listening to you guys. I was paying attention. Has Turkish gone there? Have you given your one?
Not yet. I have got one though, but yeah. Well, have you got another one or something?
No. Just
Got another meeting to get to.
I've got one from someone I've met before, Achilles. Listen, I'm gonna read it out. He says, "I lost my father 3 days ago, and I used to hear how others who lost their relatives always talk about how this show gets them going. Now I really understand why. I appreciate this show now more than ever. As much as it doesn't soften the pain, but it gives me a little happiness inside listening to good people. I want to thank Jordan, Lee, and James for their input into the show. Big thanks to Turkish, who always recognizes me and gives me his time, even through busy times." And he talks about funfair and whatnot. That's not relevant. But yeah, I have met him, and top guy. So I'm actually really sorry to actually read those words. I will message you privately, bro, and we can talk. But yeah, you've always supported me and the content I do, and obviously on AFTV too. So really appreciate it. Yeah, not much more.
Yeah, yeah, that's devastating. And thank you for the kind words. Like, yeah, I echo everything Turkish said. It's a really amazing community, the Forever Arsenal. Like all of you in the comments, and the other day, Jordan, I think you said someone should do like a compilation of all our best.
I was getting
moments.
there. I was getting there.
You go for it because you invited it. So but I just wanted to follow on because it's an amazing community that I don't know. We don't take it for granted. I just want everyone to know that, and we want to hear about everyone. And yeah, we're very sorry to hear that news.
And Achilles, I'll be there at the next fair, bro. I'll bring little man as well. He's growing up now, so yeah, I'll bring him to the next one. But I've messaged you now already, and I've seen that you've messaged back. So when you see this come out tomorrow, because it is Tuesday morning, midnight right now, we would have talked already. But so sorry for your loss, my bro. And listen, if there's anyone out there that this show does the same to them for, it's mad. It's mad. We'll continue delivering the content. But yeah, continue leaving your comments and continue messaging us on social media if you do wish to talk about things. We are going to wrap it up here. An hour, 8 minutes in. Big up Jordan, big up Lee, big up James. Lee can enjoy the rest of his holiday. I'm off to Barca tomorrow.
Enjoy it, guys. Enjoy it.
Yeah. And
I did just want to say, because Jordan's meant to come in there, that yeah, someone did make a highlights package of our best moments.
Oh yeah,
we'll put that
absolutely
link,
brilliant.
We'll put that link in the description.
Yeah.
It's very good. Fair play for capturing all that. And actually, it's really bad. And I was saying it's midnight, and I've forgotten the name, but we'll put the link. It's great.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'll put that in the description. People, you make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you leave a comment. We're back next week, probably around Wednesday. But listen, if there's news to talk about, it might be earlier than that. What are you smiling at, Jordan?
So I'm reading the comments. Some of the comments are really funny.
Now you realise.
They're good this week. They're good.
He likes them this week. All right, people, we're gonna be back next week. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Love for the love, people. We're at actually. Big up James. Big up James. The content he's doing on his channel. Big up James. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say, people. I'm not even gonna say anymore. Just go search it up on YouTube. Love for the love, people. We're at peace.